push it to the limit. Limit! You walk along the razor's edge. Don't look down, just keep your head or you'll be finished. Hello and welcome to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies. The podcast where Matt and Todd go see a movie at our local Regal Cinema Theater. And now we're going to talk about it. In Matt's Honda Pilot, right after the movie. Just Matt and I this time. The original dynamic duo back together again. And we're going to answer important questions, or we may not answer important questions. Hopefully we do. If we don't, we apologize. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy. And Todd, I have to say, I was really hoping I would get some Grateful Dead. Driving my train high on cocaine. That would have been a good one.
Well, I am not familiar with that song.
Oh, well.
So I chose the song from Scarface, which is a, pretty famous cocaine movie.
Yes. Well, as you may have guessed, loyal listeners, we watched a movie tonight involving cocaine and a bear. This movie is called Cocaine Bear. There are two famous people in it. They are Ray Liotta and Keri Russell.
Yeah. I mean, I would say almost O'Shea Jackson Jr. has been in a lot of stuff.
Okay.
He is Ice Cube's son.
Oh, gotcha.
And looks very similar to him.
I was going to say, I can guess which one he is.
That would be the only other person I would say is right kind of there. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
Well.
Although directed by Elizabeth Banks.
I was going to mention that, yes. This is most likely Ray Liotta's last movie.
I would assume so, unless he had a couple of projects just kind of hanging out, ready to be released.
Yeah. So, there's that. So what is this movie about? Well, to be very blunt, it's about a bear that does cocaine.
Yeah.
Right? The plot of the movie is not really that involved, but basically cocaine for some reason gets tossed out of an airplane, lands in this park, and you've got a cop coming to figure out what's going on. You've got drug dealers coming to try and retrieve drugs. You've got two kids lost in a park, and their mom comes to look for them. And you've got a forest ranger and other sort of random hiker people. And that's really the whole cast of characters. There's interactions between them and the bear that's high on cocaine. But basically, the type of interactions that we have are the bear does cocaine and then kills people.
Yes. In
gruesome on-screen ways. You get to see the gruesome nature of the bear tearing into people. And so that's kind of the heart of the story, You've got these different kind of groups of people and how do they play off each other and what's going to happen to them and all of that gets resolved at the end and the bear does cocaine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that that's a summary of this movie.
That's all you need, really.
That's all you need. The bear does cocaine and kills people. So, Todd, what is your gut reaction to Cocaine Bear?
Well, I think the listeners can kind of tell by now, by the way we're sounding, that we're not so energetic. Our balloons are, some air's been let out a little bit.
Yeah.
This movie is a mess, and not in a good, fun way, in my opinion.
Right.
Like, I didn't have a fun time, and that's the only purpose of a movie like this, is to have a fun time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, for a movie that's called Cocaine Bear, the bear's not in it a whole lot.
Right.
Which was very disappointing. I mean, the movie's more about all these wacky side characters that we get introduced to And I legitimately don't care about any of them. And one's wackier than the other. It's like, it just was like the writers were sitting in a room saying, okay, who can make their wackiest character? Like, you need normal people in a movie and then a wacky character here and there, because that's going to, like, offset it, and it's going to be like, oh, you know, that character really is wacky, and I can laugh at the jokes or whatever. But every character had something going on in this movie, and it distracted you from the cocaine bear, which was not in the movie a whole lot. And it, like any movie that's like Transformers or even like the Godzilla movies, you go to the movie to see the Transformers and Godzilla. The more humans are in it, the more you're kind of like, well, I don't care about this. I care about what I came to see.
Right.
And this movie specifically has just a lot of that, in a sense of there's not enough cocaine bear. And the characters, I can't stress about how I just didn't care about any of them, because we're not really given a reason to. But then also they're all just wacky and dumb, and it's like I was rooting for them all to die. And, you know, my wish was not granted. But there were still some deaths and some cocaine-ness from the bear. I mean, I don't think I laughed once in this movie. Like, which it just seems like the purpose of this movie is to laugh and have a good time and just like whatever. But I don't know if it's my cynical nature, or maybe because, you know, like, I don't know when the last time I went to the movies just for fun was, besides doing the podcast. I guess the last time I saw a kid's movie with my daughter. Maybe it's just like my mind is so in tune to, okay, well, I immediately need to be thinking, what don't I like about this movie or whatever. So maybe it didn't get a fair shake, but I don't know. We have that thought going into some movies here, and then we get blown out of the water with how good they are. This is not one of them. The acting is stupid. The dialogue is horrendous. The script is all over the place. The soundtrack, even at times, like, if you're going to place a soundtrack in the 80s, then it should just be pumped full of 80s music the entire time. And all we got was like maybe one or two actual 80s songs, and then it was like this weird synthesizer transition music that was like, well, we need to, like, you know, pan from one scene to another, so let's get this like, it just was so dumb. And yeah, I don't know. I know Elizabeth Banks has directed good movies in the past, I feel, and this is not one of them. Someone was like, hey, remember that story about the bear that got in cocaine? And then it was like, you have to create an 1.5-hour movie about it. And their thought was, okay, well, let's not give more bear. Let's put in all these side characters who you don't care about. Just a complete misstep. I mean, I feel like this movie, if they really leaned into the fact that it's just about a bear on cocaine, we could have got a lot of hijinks and fun and like laughter and stuff like that. But man, did it miss the mark by a mile. So honestly, this is definitely going to be a movie that I'm saying don't see. There's no point. Don't see it in theaters. Don't see it when it comes out, unless you're either a cocaine or bear enthusiast. And then even maybe then you probably still won't like it.
Or if you're going through Ray Liotta's entire catalog.
That's true. If you're on
you have to watch this movie.
Yeah, if you're on a Ray Liotta quest, then good luck to you on that one. Not the best movie to end on for good old Ray, R.I.P. So yeah, I cannot in good conscience say, yeah, this movie's for this specific sect of people. I don't even think it is. This might be one of the first movies we see. I mean, I think we have before where we're both, like, at least I am going to be like, don't see this movie. Don't. There's no point. If you like, I know Tim, who couldn't be here tonight, is like super excited about it because he's super excited about a fun, stupid movie, but I didn't have fun. You know, like, it's a movie and it forgot the fun. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I didn't think a movie about a bear doing cocaine could let me down, but here we are. So
here we are.
Matt?
Well, first I'll say the thing that I liked about this movie, which was there's a part where they use actual footage from 1985 because this is based on a true story of cocaine getting thrown out of an airplane, and I guess the bear took cocaine and the bear died.
Yeah, the story is I think all the plane stuff happened.
Yeah.
And then a bear got into the cocaine and then it died. It didn't do anything. None of the hijinks happened.
Right.
It just got into cocaine and died. And it did. If I remember reading the story, it ingested an insane amount of cocaine, like millions and millions of dollars worth of cocaine. Which that could have been pretty funny to see a whole lot of, but wasn't there.
Right. So we got some footage there. We got a young Tom Brokaw on the screen. Always fun to hear him and his Tom Brokaw voice. But that was really the only thing I liked about this movie. And it's a shame because the things I didn't like about this movie is called Cocaine Bear. It features a bear, but yet there are no bears in this movie. It was not a real bear. It was a CGI bear 100% of the time.
That's true.
There was no time where there was bears on the screen. Real bears. So, I don't like that. I am a big fan of absurd movies where you just have, like, you don't know what you're going to get next, and you just have, like, zany, hijink, funny things happening, and you're just like, I can't believe they did that, said that happened, whatever.
Right.
And normally that works is because somebody's playing it straight, or the world is straight, and here's somebody who's bending all the rules. This movie utterly fails at being an absurd movie. It is an absurd movie, but it's not funny.
Right.
It's not enjoyable. It's not, you mentioned the characters. The characters are all lame.
Yeah.
The only person who plays it straight is like Keri Russell's character. Everyone else is wacky, zany.
Right.
And there's no one for them to play off of except for each other. And it's like, I'm wacky. Well, I'm wackier. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. And it's such a mark of bad writing because it's like, so they weren't confident enough to write a story. It was like every character we introduce has to have a thing about them. Like a detective who's got a weird thing about dogs. And like, just, it didn't make sense. And it was all kind of like, I mean, really, it's because you have a 5-minute movie that they have to stretch to an hour and a half.
Yes.
But, like, they really rested on the fact that, people will see this because it's Cocaine Bear.
Right.
They did not try.
No. Something else I didn't like about this movie is if you've seen the trailer, you've seen most of the interactions with the bear.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, I was watching the movie and I was like, oh, well, this is the scene. I know what's going to happen because we've seen the trailer where the bear comes and kills someone. And that's poor. That's ridiculous. You should not be bringing that level of poor movie making to the big screen. There was one point in this movie where I almost chuckled, which was when the cop was like, let's see how the bear responds to that. Yeah. That was the funniest part of the movie. And as you can tell, that's not very funny, but it was the funniest part to me. And there was something else I liked about this movie. I know what it was. It was not a long movie. We did not have to suffer.
I mean, they did right with that.
I think we were right around 90 minutes, and that is certainly doesn't need to be any longer.
Yeah.
So, I'm with you. Don't see this movie. Just don't.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to say about that.
I would agree. Not not worth it.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, Matt, how
Yes.
many packs of cocaine would you give this movie? 5 packs being the best, because then you got so much cocaine and enough to share and party, and your party can last a long time.
Mm-hmm.
0 being the worst, because then you got no cocaine, you got no bears, you got no nothing, and it's just boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to say that this movie's pretty exceptionally bad. I'm going to give it 3/4 of a pack of cocaine. And so 0.75 packs of cocaine out of 5. And don't see it.
Yeah.
Don't bother with this. This is just trash.
Yeah. Yeah. This is hard for me to rate because we all know it's going to be poor. Mm-hmm. How poor it is the struggle. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go with the number that popped in my head first, which is a 0.8. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, we're just repeating ourselves, but it was such a letdown. And even while watching it, I kept thinking to myself, I know Matt is such a huge fan of ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is missing on every mark. And at times I was like, does Matt like it? I was trying to figure out. But after a while, I was like, you know what? He's not laughing enough. There's nothing. This movie's not drawing any emotion out of both of us.
Right.
We're just sitting there. Man. Yeah, it's 0.8. Don't. You have both of our permissions to just skip this one.
Yes. Agree. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies.
Sure is.
Where we review the movie Cocaine Bear.
Did you, what was the last Buzzsprout announcement we got? 2000th episode downloaded?
No, it was
200th?
our 200th episode that we published.
200th episode. So yay, 200 episodes!
Yes, our 200th episode was Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for making that happen. And
we're sorry about this one.
And this one,
we weren't given much to work with here.
Right.
It's not even like we're angry. We're just all around kind of blah.
Yeah, we're just kind of bummed out by spending 90 minutes watching that.
I think it was because the last couple of weeks at work has been hard, so I was looking forward to just a who cares, weird, fun movie, and wow, did it just not deliver?
Yeah, instead it was a who cares, weird, life draining movie.
Yeah, I feel like I lost a year of my life here.
Mm-hmm. So we gave it a rating of 0.775. That's a bad rating. And we don't recommend seeing it. Yeah.
I mean, I would see this movie again before I ever saw Cats again, so.
Well, okay. I don't want to watch either of those movies again.
I'm just saying, gun to my head.
Yeah.
And even then, I still might choose the gun.
All right. It's Cats or Cocaine Bear. Choose or die. Just kill me. That's it.
Can we throw some more options into this mix?
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, all listeners and subscribers, and thank you for getting us, keeping our energies fueled to get us to 200 episodes. And we will see you next time.
Da 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 da
Da da
da da da.
da da da.